Well, welcome to No Control RC. Have you ever gotten a phone call from a friend who's like, hey, I found an RC you might be interested in? So you're like, all right, well, I'll come check it out. You know, this guy's given us good stuff in the past. And then you get there and he hands you this. And I'm looking at it thinking, what the is this thing? And what am I going to do with it? But it was cheap, so I bought it. And I have an idea. I'm going to text Brandon and tell him I got him a present and he's going to deal with it. All right. It's no longer my problem.
All right, let's see this thing.
Boom. There it is, Brandon.
This thing looks worse than in the picture.
You're welcome.
So Alex texted me last night, says, hey, I found something. Of course, you know, you get told, hey, I got a present for you. You don't expect it to come with, looks like 10 years of corrosion. So
that's patina.
Patina, okay. But all he said was, here's a picture. This is what it is. Look it up. So I got some information right here. But what we have here is a Serpent 835 of a vintage and whatever car I have never seen before. So this rig is actually something I have never even seen before. Never thought I would see. Always thought these looked kind of cool when you looked them up online. It's an all-wheel drive on-road nitro car. Kind of like a pan car, but not quite. So let's get this body off. That's seen some stuff. So here it is. Now keep in mind, this is exactly as he got it. The front suspension's bound up. You know, she needs a little bit of work. So front to back here, I'm kind of like just trying to figure it out. Like I said, I got some information here I looked up, but let's kind of start with some of the cool factors here. Of course, all-wheel drive nitro. 2-speed at that. Check that out. And it spins. But I think what we should start doing is start looking underneath of this thing, because this is kind of what really starts setting this thing apart. So as I looked up, again, this is something we're probably going to be asking for you guys' help as well. So this is a Serpent 835, and I know this car was initially made in like 97. And that's either the last year or one of the last years of it, and then they went on to other stuff. But this is aerospace or whatever, T6 aluminum, if I remember right. Now look at all the machining on this thing. They cut everything out they didn't need and kept it structurally strong. Kind of a weird, neat thing that I had to look up because I didn't believe it. This right here is actually the battery pack. So I believe you take this out and the battery pack comes out, and it's a special formed, particular design battery pack to go underneath the fuel tank. Obviously all for the intent to keep the weight as low as possible. Everything about this machine was built performance minded and 100% geared towards, I don't know, you want to go fast and you want to win. So like I said, also keep in mind this is from the 90s, so we can imagine what a piece like this might have cost back then. But I believe what I looked up, I don't know if this is one or not, but they started specifying a .15 engine. And I'm not sure if this is a .15 or not, or even what manufacturer it is, because everything's kind of a little gummed up and corroded. But we will end up getting that out, getting it apart. Long term, what I'm guessing right now, I think what we want to do with this is probably want to restore this. Actually, I would kind of like to run it because I bet this little thing is quick. So I don't know. Do you want to bring that thing in, take a little bit of a closer look? All right, so here she is up close. We'll start up top and then flip her over. But, you know, don't mind the crud and the mess, because literally this is in the exact condition that we got it. You can see the way the shocks are formatted. I know spring-wise, this is actually the colored springs that this car came with. There's 2 other colored springs that I know of. But this is the actual spring set that it came with. They are threaded, although they are frozen. Like I said, the front doesn't actually work right now. But, you know, we considering this is from the mid 90s to mid to late 90s, you know, we got our age appropriate servos here. Fuel tank actually is in pretty decent shape. Whew, yeah, whoa. And it still smells like nitro fuel. I need to replace some lines here. They're a little dry. You know, we got probably an FM, whatever receiver in there. We haven't dug to it. It didn't come with a remote, so we don't have that. But, you know, obviously we got our steel. It's got a steel brake setup inside of it. So, and they have just a tube on it, and an adjustable carburetor that's froze up. But, so there's that. I know the pipe itself was actually, looked it up, and it's the pipe that a lot of these guys ran. It's an X15 pipe. Supposedly this pipe was a really preferable pipe back in the day. But let's get to the little more factors of this thing that kind of sets this thing apart from stuff today. So first off, thing's all belt driven. So you can see right here, you got this is the bottom of the motor. Here's your 2-speed clutch bell and transmission setup right here. So that goes basically to a jack shaft that goes all the way across the whole car. The center of it drives the rear end. You can kind of see it right there. Then it comes all the way over to this belt right here. Now, according to what it says, these things came with, keep in mind, they did gear this all towards performance. These are all Kevlar belted belts. So these were meant to handle a ton of stuff. So then this comes down this side, goes to another little shaft that goes to a front differential up here. That you can see the discolored belt right there. See how she moves everything? Just like that. Now, here's what the cool part is with this front end right here. So obviously you can see when the motor turns everything, okay, cool, everything turns. What the front also will do is the front will freewheel. That one not so much, this one though. So with the front freewheeling, when you let off the throttle going into a corner, now no longer will the front tires drag like the back one and slow down. They will freewheel, so all their traction capability will go to steering. So you don't want any more added resistance to the front end because you want it to steer as much as possible. So that's a cool thing. It's all aluminum. I believe it said it was a fluid-filled sealed ball bearing setup all in here. So we're going to hopefully get that apart sometime here and check that out. But, I mean, I don't know how many of you all have seen something like this. But this, I've seen belt and chain driven RC cars back when I was a kid. But I've never seen an on-road car like this. They were all other stuff. So this is really different. So the little bit I did look up on it, the main thing I do know is this company originated out of the Netherlands. So a lot of the parts are coming out of there. Granted, and the information is old, and the website, even on one of the websites, and it said something about, oh, well, you don't know if you want to go on this because of some virus or whatever thing. It was telling me all sorts of weird stuff. So the second part of this video is, hopefully any of you guys watching, you either know of or know somebody that maybe has run one of these or knows a little bit more about them. I've only got the rudimentary information that I could acquire last night. That basically is all about what I told you, minus a few more things that I did learn in the meantime. So anything that you guys know that can help us with parts, can help get this thing going, we would really appreciate any help we can get. So far, everybody's been very helpful to us. So whatever you can tell us, whatever way you could guide us would be fantastic. Because let's face it, this thing would probably be a pretty cool piece to see run around. Because the little bit I looked up, they look like they're really quick. So I think we kind of want to get this thing going. So, like I said, any help, really appreciate it. So, more or less, I kind of think, I don't know, Alex, anything else you want to add to this?
What I'll say about this is what you do when you acquire a piece of junk that you don't want to deal with. You find somebody who does. That's what you do.
So, this is what's going on. I like stuff like this. I grew up around some racing stuff, so this stuff really intrigues me, and I like tinkering and things, so this is probably going to take a long time, but help would definitely be appreciated. Help Alex and I get this thing running. And who knows what we could do with it down the road, but it's going to probably be pretty cool. So, you know, obviously, like we always say, really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if possible. Tell a friend, tell two. Help keep us going. You know, and thanks again. We'll catch you next time.